spinal injuries depends on the severity of the injury. If you're paralyzed, whether it's quadriplegia or paraplegia, it's pretty obvious that you received a spinal injury. More difficult cases from our perspective are cases where it's a chronic back pain or numbness and tingling in the limbs and things like that. Those cases are a lot more difficult because the result of the injury is not as clear. Paraplegia, you're in a wheelchair. If I present you to a jury, they're going to understand that you don't have any feeling in your legs and you can't walk. The harder case is, well, I've got low back pain and I have numbness and tingling down my right leg. That's something that I can't demonstrate to a jury in the same way that I can if you're in a wheelchair. It might be very similarly debilitating, particularly if you're a person that works with their body or demands that their body do the work for them. A low back pain type situation for a person that does physical labor, that might be a career ender. So you have to be aware of all sorts of different factors, what does the person do for a living, what was their activity level before, and there's always the issue of did they have prior injuries and that kind of thing. That makes cases very difficult. One of the issues that we run into a lot in spinal injury cases is how radiologists differentiate different injuries to the discs, from a bulging disc to a protruding disc to a herniated disc. Each of those terms has different meanings in different medical practices or different medical specialties. When a person suffers an injury to a disc in their low back or neck, they can be characterized as bulging, protruding, or herniating. In different medical fields, those terms have different meanings. And a lot of times we get involved in arguments or fights with the other side about what those mean and what the impact on the person's life is going to be. For instance, a herniated disc would probably be the most severe, and that might have our client ended up having numbness and tingling. Maybe the bottom of their foot is completely numb. The nerve that's running from their brain all the way down to their foot has been irritated somehow by this disc injury. So
it's important to hire an attorney who has experience presenting these cases, because you don't learn about any of this stuff in law school. You don't learn about the anatomy of the spine, certainly, and you need to have an attorney who's handled hundreds and hundreds of these cases and has the experience and knows how to present these cases in order to maximize your recovery. Frequently we've had clients who initially, after they've been involved in an accident, their adrenaline is flowing such that they don't feel the pain. They don't understand the extent of their injuries until the next day or the day after that, and they settle down and they realize that they were injured in the auto accident.
When we handle cases for people who have suffered spinal injuries, not only are we looking at what their medical expenses have been to date and their lost wages to date, but we're also looking at what is their medical treatment going to require in the future, what wage loss might they suffer. And again, that's going to depend on what they do for a living. If it's something that requires a lot of physical activity, then a spinal injury may in fact have a long-term detrimental effect on their ability to earn money. And the last thing that we look at is quality of life. How's their lifestyle going to be affected? If this is a person that's been very active before and now their doctor's telling them that they are going to be disabled or can't do the things that they used to do, to me that has a dollar value.
At that point, it's important to contact an attorney immediately who can help you get the medical treatment that you need and make sure that the insurance companies are paying their fair share and paying the medical expenses so that you can get the treatment that you need.
We can help you find somebody to give you a second opinion, or you can go to a second opinion of your own. Most of them, as a matter of fact, have already seen a doctor. And sometimes they say, well, the doctor says there's nothing wrong with me, but I still have this low back pain. Well, in Florida, if you're injured in a car accident, you're entitled to PIP benefits, personal injury protection benefits. Those are benefits that are available to pay any doctor of your choice to evaluate you. So in a case like that one, we would encourage our clients to go seek a second opinion. Go find a doctor that's going to have a fresh look at your situation and see what that doctor has to say about your spinal injury.
It's important that when you call a law firm and talk to a lawyer that you know that that lawyer is working on your case, because there's so many other confusing messages being sent out there. There's lawyer referral services, there's insurance companies, there's ads on TV and billboards. So you can be inundated and almost overwhelmed with the messages and information out there. So it's important to have someone on your side who cares about you and who's protecting your interests when you've been involved in an auto accident. At Cullen & Hemphill, if you call and ask for Kim Cullen or myself, we'll talk to you, we'll sit down with you, and we'll be the ones handling your case.